Joining us now, Alamogordo Tiger Wrestling. Their season officially gets underway Thursday with their JV team going down to El Paso. And then Saturday, the varsity side will go down to El Paso for the Irvin meet. And looking forward to another exciting season with this group. And we are joined by 4 of the athletes and head coach Felix Arias as well. Coach, how are you?
I'm doing good.
Good?
How are you doing?
Pretty good. Gosh, Coach, I mean, I ask this every year, but what year are we going into now with you at the front of the program?
I believe this is our 9th season.
9th season, yeah. And you've been involved with the program every single season.
Since the beginning, right.
Kind of neat to be able to see where it's grown and how things are going. As we're a decade into restarting Tiger Wrestling. What do you see the biggest thing is the differences from year 1 to year 9?
Participation. We started off with 8 kids first year, and then this year we have 40 kids.
Wow.
27 of them are first year wrestlers.
Wow.
And we have 7 girls. So the participation is growing with the girls. We've usually 2 to 3. So it's getting a little more popular. So we're trying to get them to come out and give it a shot. So hopefully we can get some girls to maybe late participate or, maybe come out next year or whatever. But yeah, numbers wise, we're growing.
Yeah. What do you attribute that to? I mean, obviously knowing the program's there is part of it, but obviously they're hearing about it and wanting to be a part of it. Is that what you're catching on, or is it recruiting going out there and, hey, you should come out and wrestle kind of thing?
A little bit. I think it's just interest from the kids. Home meets help. Just, hey, what is this? I'll give it a shot. Word of mouth type stuff. This year I did go around, talk to the powerlifting team. Coach Dress brought me in so I can speak to them. We had a couple girls give some interest, so we got Brooklyn West who stayed with it. So I'm interested to see how well she does. I think she's going to catch on pretty fast. She's pretty strong. And then I went and talked to the football team, and then just walking around, seeing any kids who want to join.
Yeah.
So
sometimes you can, and I mean that the fun thing about wrestling is it's all shapes, sizes,
right.
Because of the different weight classes. So in a case where in football where if somebody's 100 pounds, it may be difficult to go out there and compete. In wrestling, it's
by weight class, so it's good. Another thing is we have 9 8th graders and like 10 freshmen. So, again, I think it's just, hey, I saw a flyer and it looked interesting, so I came out.
Yeah. So. And you're hoping, and I know one of the big goals is to try and keep those kids. And,
Correct.
Obviously there's some things like, if they're from the Air Force Base and families move, there's
away.
Not much you can do about that. But trying to keep the kids coming back year after year, I know is a goal as well, right?
It is. So, obviously, losing kids hurts. We're losing one in January because his father got orders to Las Vegas, so he's gone, and it's going to hurt to lose a kid who's been wrestling a little bit, but hopefully he'll go over there, catch on to the team, and he'll keep progressing.
Yeah.
But we do like to develop our young kids, and hopefully they stick with it and they don't move away. But I think we got a good crop this year.
All right, very good. You want to introduce the 4 that you brought with you in studio?
So I have Alysa Hinds. She will be starting off at heavyweight for us this year. Obviously, we have a weight certification that happens, and the doctor will say this is the weight you have to start, but you're allowed to lose X amount of pounds until you hit your lowest maximum weight class. So for her lowest maximum is going to be 185. So we'll kind of see what is more competitive for her, and then we'll get her on track. And then we have Alex Gutierrez. He's a returning state qualifier, and he'll be wrestling about 133 this year. And then Cookie, he got hurt last year, so he didn't wrestle last year. But oddly enough, I've known Cookie since Battle Cats, and we had our youth program. And he wrestled the year before, and he did pretty well. He was in a bigger weight class, 189. This year, he's 172, most likely going to get down to 160. And then we got AJ. He's also a returning state qualifier. He was at 114 last year. His weight certification is 121, so a different weight class. So it'd be interesting, how he does in that new weight class. But I'm excited to see them compete this year.
All right, very good. Alysa, so I mean, you wrestled last year, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. What were you at the same weight last year in the heavyweight division, or were you a little bit lower?
I was in 185 last year.
Okay, so start heavyweight, but is the goal to get to 185?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so that's the place where you feel more comfortable.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay. talk about a little about your goals this year. I mean, what are you trying to? Is there particular things you're trying to improve on? Is there a record you're trying to get to? You want to qualify for state? I mean, what are you looking at this year?
Well, this year my main goal is to place higher in state than I did last year, because that's just my mindset, is to do better than the year before. But I also want to improve on, like, I guess my mentality of everything and not get so, like, pushed down on simple things. Like, I lost one match, it's not the end of the world. So that's one of my biggest goals.
So working on the mental game a little bit for you is a big thing this year. All right, very good. Coach talked about it a little bit, though. Is it exciting to have more girls involved with the team? I mean, I know you enjoyed the guy. I mean, it's one big team, but is it kind of cool to see more girls coming out and getting involved with the program?
It's actually really cool having more girls show up and it not being such like a touchy sport. And like a lot of them get freaked out by that, but like a lot of them are doing really good with it. And I'm really proud of everybody that's in it. And I can't wait for more girls to join, hopefully later on.
Yeah. And we talk about it constantly, in terms of the challenge of wrestling. It may be harder than any other sport that's out there just because of the one-on-one and the way that you got to get your durability up, and you got to know skills, and you got to know and you just talked about it, the mental part about it too. It feels like, you feel like once you get to a certain point, it's really rewarding when you start winning matches and you start seeing things click a little bit.
Yeah. Definitely. It's definitely wrestling's one of those mental things where like you can be athletic, but a mental thing is another big part of it. You can't go in there expecting to lose, because then you're probably going to lose.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Very good. All right. We'll go over here to Alex, and the weight class this year. I mean, is that where you were last season?
No, sir. I was wrestling around 121.
Okay. So feel like this is it more comfortable to be at a higher weight class for you, or did you kind of like being at the lower one?
I did kind of like being at the lower weight class because I did like muscle them around. But wrestling the higher weight classes, I have to really use technique than my strength. So it's just getting used to that is a little different.
Yeah.
But besides that, no, I'm excited for the season. I wrestled this weight at a couple of tournaments before, so it's not nothing new.
Okay. And a little bit less having to try to cut weight as well for this one?
Oh, yes, sir. Yeah. Less stress about that.
Yeah, because that's when you get to the lower weight classes. I mean, it's what you're walking around weight versus your competition weight. Sometimes that's tough, right?
Yeah. But yeah, it's really like Alyssa said. It's really the mindset that you're in that makes it like suck or something like that. But yeah.
Okay. How about you have personal goals that you're kind of setting for yourself this season?
Yes, sir. So I took second at regionals, so I want to try to get first and become a district champ. That's one of my main goals, and also to place higher at state. I got
finished in top 8.
Top 8.
Okay. One match away from podium.
Yeah, I lost in a blood round, so yeah, that was sad. So just try to really get higher, place higher at state.
Yeah. For those that don't know, what's a blood round?
Oh, it's like the round before placing at state.
Oh, okay. I got you. So whoever gets 7th or 8th, that to decide that one's what you're saying. Okay, I got you. Does that? I mean, the way things ended last year, does that add some extra motivation for you this year?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay. Very good. And, talk about the team as a whole. When Coach talks about there's 40 kids that are coming out and there's 7 ladies that are competing, does that excite you? That get you more pumped about the program as a whole?
Yes, it does. It's because last year we did have like a small team last year. So to see it grow so big, so quick is really motivating and really cool to see.
Yeah. Do you find it fun for the first time wrestlers? They're coming to you maybe for tips or coming to you to try to learn things. Is that something you enjoy?
Oh yeah, I definitely enjoy it, but I'm definitely not the best teacher.
something you're working on right now. Yeah. Okay. Very good. All right, move over here to Cookie, and how about you? We talked weight class, so you're going a little bit lower this year instead of going a little bit higher. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that have you just dropped some weight and that's worked that way, or are you trying to cut weight and be at a lower weight class this year?
Just drop some of the weight because 189 is too competitive for me. So hopefully I can do better in 172.
Okay. And so not much of a challenge in terms of getting down to 172? Has that been no big deal for you?
Yeah, it's been no big deal. I got down there pretty quick.
Okay. All right. Very good. For a lot of people, losing 17 pounds is not exactly the easiest thing to do, but no problem. I mean, I'm sure going out there and playing football and all that stuff makes it a little bit easier.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah. All right. How about you for goals this year? I mean, you talked about 189 obviously being loaded, and I'm sure in the region and the state. Mm-hmm. So at 172, you're looking at something a little bit different that you feel like you can compete at that weight class?
Yeah, I'm hopefully trying to qualify for state and obviously try to lead it this year. And that's my goal. I want to at least try to place in state this year too, since it's my last year.
Okay, very good. And talk about the team a little bit. In that you obviously were hurt last year, so you didn't get to compete.
Yeah.
Getting to be a part of the group this year, is that kind of a special thing for you to get to that in your senior year?
Yeah, I'm excited. It's great to see that some of the kids are coming out because I truly do enjoy wrestling. I'm glad that the new kids are coming out and trying it out.
Yeah. Leave it in a better place than what it was, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Over here to Alijah. So moving up in weight class a little bit, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah. Is that exciting? Is that is it a little bit of nerves in that? How you feeling with going to 121?
There's some nerves, but I feel like it's going to be easier for the weight part because I don't have to cut as much, but it's going to be a lot more competitive.
Yeah.
And I just need to get better.
Okay. So in terms of, being more competitive, is just picking up on your skills a little bit? Is it building your strength? I mean, what's the things that you're kind of focusing on to try to make sure you're ready for 121 this year?
Mostly strength. I mean, technique, I'm with the kids, but I do need to improve on my strength. So.
Okay, very good. How about goals this year? I mean, obviously you made it to state last year as well. That's, I'm sure, one of the goals, but to improve on that, is that what you're looking for?
Yes, sir. And I also want to be district champ this year, and I want to place at state. So.
All right, very good goals. And how about this group? I mean, what's been your impression so far of the team? Is the first you had scrimmages last weekend? You've had a few weeks practice. What have you been seeing from the group so far?
Well, from the past 2 years, it's a lot better this year. There's a lot less kids quitting, and there's a lot more kids motivated. And I do think this team is going to go further than the previous years.
Yeah, and for wrestling, and I think it's probably in every program, kids realize, hey, this isn't for me at some point, and there's fewer of that happening. Yeah,
a lot.
All right, very good. Coach, I mentioned the scrimmages. How did the scrimmages go last weekend? How did you feel? What did you see? What did you like? What were the things you want to work on?
Yeah, so just having so many beginner wrestlers, first timers, I think they did amazing. They were in there competing. None of them were looking for a way out. That's the biggest thing, is for them to look for a way out, to kick that out of them. They were in there. They're looking for opportunities to get back in there and rotate in there, wrestling against other kids from other schools. Because one thing to wrestle your teammates, and it's quite another thing to practice against another kid who wants to get some mat time and kind of bully you around, right? So I really liked how the competitive they got. Just using the techniques that we've been able to teach them in the short amount of time, because they're going to keep growing in that area. But what they know right now, they did really well at the scrimmage. And I would probably say our ladies kind of outshined the boys. They were in there throwing some of these girls around, and again, first-year wrestlers, but I think they're going to shock some people. I wouldn't be surprised if I can get all girls to qualify for state this year.
Wow, awesome. That's fantastic. And I think you talk about how many wrestlers you have. The JV meets are going to be just as big as the varsity meets for you all this year, in terms of, you're going to have so many kids competing at both sides of it. I mean, varsity, that gets a little more of the attention because those are the ones that are, going to compete to go to state and stuff like that. But, for you as a program, the JV meets are super crucial in terms of building the program, right?
Right. We're looking for more opportunities to compete at the JV level for that development. Last year we had 2 JV tournaments, and this year we have 5. And then in between our district and our just regular duels that are non-district, the coaches will get together and say, hey, I brought an extra 5 kids, so give some mat time. So you're looking, again, more opportunities to get kids on the mat just to develop. Any matches they can get, hey, you got to be ready to go. So, yeah, we work really hard to find opportunities for that development, but it's a balance, because you just won't want to throw them to the wolves, right?
Yes, yeah. I was going to say, you're throwing somebody at like 160 something against a state champion. It's that you're probably not going to learn a whole lot in that match, right?
Exactly, and I know names, so I'll tell the coach, hey, I'm probably forfeiting this match, and he'll be like, oh, why? I'm like, because I got a first-year wrestler, 8th grader. Like, that's not happening, right? Your girl's a 2-time state champion. Not going to happen tonight. I was like, if they make it to regionals and she happens to draw her in the first round, then yeah, they're gonna go at it. But she's at that level, and then we're good to go. But right now, development-wise, you can't do it because you also don't want to break these kids' spirit. You got to motivate them, lift them up. Like I said, mental game. If you start losing too much and you're like, hey, they're really good, it's not a bad thing. It still messes with you mentally that I lost. So we got to be careful the matches that we put them in. But this year we have 10 more competitions than we did last year.
Yeah, that makes a huge difference. I mean, and it's one of those that, when you look at the early seasons, I mean, it was like 5 or 6 total competitions, and now you look at the calendar, and I was looking at it, I was like, holy cow, you guys are busy this year, which is the way you want it, right?
Right. Last year and the years past, Las Cruces would be our very first competition, and now we have 5 before Las Cruces. And we'd get to Las Cruces, there'd be kids who are 9-0. And we'd be, oh no. We're like, oh crap. They got some mat time. So we needed to be ready for that. So we worked on our schedule to get some mat time before we get to Las Cruces and then get into the Roswell. And Christmas break kind of hurts us a little bit because, holiday schedule, kids go different places, and I understand that. And keeping them in shape during that break. So when they return, we hit Ruidoso right away. And then the district duels start happening Wednesdays. So yeah, you guys got to keep motivated.
Yeah, for sure. We got these 4 here. Any others that you want to make sure you mention that we're going to see competing maybe for state slots this year, or you're hoping, whether it's maybe placing at regionals and things like that?
Yeah, so I got 2 kids that I'm looking forward to see how they come back from last season. Aiden Zagahosi, he is a senior, 2nd-year wrestler, but he is wrestling at higher weight class this year. I think he'll be at 144. But he's really picked up on his technique. He was JV last year as a first-year wrestler, but I think this year he's going to surprise some people. He's really motivated. He's working hard in the mat room. He's a little more vocal. I mean, he's a shy kid, but he's helping out. I use him for demoing moves, so it's pretty cool to see him open up a little bit because, like I said, he's a little shy. But I think he's going to surprise some people. Xavier, he's going to be good. He's a freshman at 195 right now, so he'll probably get down to 189, and he has some natural abilities. At the scrimmage, he was hanging with these guys who were state qualifiers. So I'm excited to see what he can do, but he needs to recover from a broken nose that happened at the scrimmage. Okay. So he'll be wearing a mask, one of those ugly old masks, but at least he'll be able to compete. So I'm excited about him. And then the 3rd kid for the boys team is Finn. Finn Krafka is an 8th grader, but he's wrestled a little bit of youth up in Ruidoso, and he has just some natural instincts, and he's wrestling 106. So it's going to be interesting how he competes against some of these, sophomores and juniors that doesn't get into his head. That I've seen an 8th grader beat a junior at state finals, right? Mm-hmm. So that he can maintain the focus and not think of ages and what grade they're in, and he just competes. I think he's going to do well. And for the girls, like I said, I think all the girls have the ability to qualify for state. They're picking up really, really fast. They dominated at the scrimmage. And I would say Nyla Zagahosi, brother, Aiden, she's picking up pretty quickly. And Ava wrestled in 8th grade. She missed last year because she went to golf. And obviously she's really good at golf, but decided to come back for her sophomore year, and her brother's on the team as well, so I think that kind of helps. But she just picked up where she left off, so she's going to do well do very well. Yeah,
Ava's, she's also a soccer player.
Soccer player.
And you know what? As soon as you said Ava Armijo, and I'm thinking, she'd be a good wrestler. She's a good defender in soccer, so it doesn't surprise me at all. All right, very good. Move back over to Alysa. I think we talked about it, but what do you find to be the most challenging part of wrestling? Is it the mental aspect, or are there other things is it the cutting weight? What do you find to be most challenging?
I honestly do think it's the mental aspect, because mental is one of those things where you can't really screw it up. Like I said, you can't go in a match expecting to lose, because that's probably what's going to be the outcome, because you lost before you even stepped on it. And it's just, wrestling's like a whole new headspace you have to be in. You have to be ready to compete, be ready to face new challenges, because you don't know your other opponent. You don't know how they're going to act, and you just have to be ready for basically anything.
Yeah. What are some of the things that you were, I mean, is there certain things you're trying to do to improve that mental part of it, like exercises or something that gets you, or just trying to not put yourself down and believe in yourself more?
Pretty much just be more like positive, be more like self-motivative before a match. Just like take time to myself, get in my right headspace, and just not freak out because I see a record or because I see a name I've seen before.
Okay, very good. Is we going to see you out in any other sports throughout the rest of the year? Or is wrestling your one that you're focusing on?
Wrestling's my one sport.
Okay, that's okay. That's perfectly fine. Is wrestling something you'd like to continue after high school if you get the chance?
Yes, I've actually been looking at colleges and had a couple offers for wrestling in college.
Okay, very good. And speaking of college, have you started thinking about what you want to do in college? Are you in there yet, or not sure what you want to do?
I kind of want to go into psychology and law.
Okay. What makes you want to get into psychology?
I just like the way people's heads work.
Okay. You're trying to figure out how your own mind works. You're going to try to figure out everybody else's too, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, very good. And then the law part of it, just, obviously they're probably lucrative there to, be able to do psychology and law, right?
Yeah, it's pretty hand in hand in some things that I'm like, okay, I could do that.
Okay, very good. Is there a particular school you're hoping to go to, or?
Hiram, Ohio.
Okay. Very good. You have family in that area, or just?
Nope.
Just look like an interesting place.
Yeah.
Okay. Very good. That's cool. All right, Alex, how about you? What do you find the most challenging thing about wrestling? Is it?
It's probably honestly the mental aspect. It's just like when I get tired, I start quitting on myself. So I just want to get that habit out of me. And once we just go, it's good.
Yeah. Are you finding with more experience that's not as much of an issue, or is it just kind of a battle every meet to kind of keep your head in the right space?
Definitely. Like experience helps a lot.
Yeah.
Definitely. I feel more confident in myself because like I've done it before.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Is wrestling something you're hoping to continue after high school if you get the chance?
Yes sir, of course. But I don't know. Honestly, don't know if I'm like honestly good enough to, pursue it. But I'll wrestle D2 or I'm pretty excited.
Okay. And you see any other sports throughout the rest of the year? Or is wrestling your one?
No, I'm in powerlifting right now too.
Okay, so you'll be splitting between powerlifting and wrestling. Okay.
Yes, sir.
You find that difficult, or is it kind of one help the other sort of thing?
No, I enjoy it. So it's not. I mean, it's hard, but like I like it.
Yeah. Okay. Have you started thinking about after high school plans, like what you want to do, or go to college, or something else?
I'm probably gonna go to a trade school to be a mechanic or something like that, like my dad.
Okay. And any particular mechanic?
In automotive and diesel.
Oh, okay. Very cool. All right. And I know what got you into that, obviously, is your dad is involved in that. All right. Very, very good. Cookie, how about you? I mean, what do you find? I mean, you obviously do a lot of different sports. You're involved with a lot of things. What do you find the most challenging part of wrestling?
For wrestling, I definitely say mentally, because it's such a draining sport. Like, if you go all 3 rounds, you're going to be exhausted, but you got to keep going.
Yeah. Okay. You're getting ready to graduate here soon. Is there a particular? Would you like to continue sports after high school, or?
Yeah, if I had an opportunity to continue any sports, I'm definitely going to take that opportunity. But if not, then I would like to go to trade school to become an electrician.
Okay. Very good. And have you picked a particular? Are we going to see in any other sports? Are you doing powerlifting or anything else? Or?
Powerlifting, and then I'm still debating about track.
Okay.
Not sure about track yet.
All right. Coach is going to try to talk you into that, I'm sure, at the end of the season. So I know Coach Atkinson's always out there talking folks into that one. So we'll hopefully see you out there. Look forward to seeing you out in powerlifting as well. And Elijah, how about you? What do you find to be the most challenging part of wrestling?
Just about everything.
Yeah. Okay. It's not one thing. It's just all of it together.
It's all of it together.
Yeah.
It kind of works in with each other, and it's mentally, I mean, eating right, working out right, everything, yeah.
All right, very good. Yeah, those are the things that people don't think about. They see you out there competing, but they didn't realize, how your diet was that week, how, and you throw in, obviously, you're in class all week, you're doing all those other things. I mean, it's one big kind of grind for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, all right. Is wrestling something you're hoping to continue after high school if you get the chance?
If I get the chance, yeah. I will.
All right.
Get an offer or something.
Okay. We going to see you out in any other sports or just wrestling?
Powerlifting and football.
Powerlifting and football? Okay. So we'll see you out in football again next season,
Yes,
yeah?
sir.
Okay, very good. And you started thinking about your after high school plans, what you want to do? Or?
Yeah, I want to be an orthopedic surgeon.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Okay, that's definitely a big goal. You have a school that your eyes on? Or?
Michigan.
Michigan, okay. Family there, or you just want to go to Michigan?
I just want to go to Michigan.
Oh, okay, very good.
I
All
like
right.
the cold.
Yeah, all right. How many? We don't have many New Mexico kids who's like, yeah, I like the cold. So there you go. Yeah, that's perfect for you if that's the case. This is your time of year right now with the weather getting colder. Coach, I mean, overall, what are you looking at expectations for this group? I mean, obviously, you talked about wanting to see the improvement of the younger kids, but I mean, gosh, you think the girls can all make state, and you think a lot of these guys can make state and compete, and that's another thing that really shows the growth of the program, right?
So out of 13 weight classes in the boys, I think 7 of them have a real shot at making state. The others still young, growing, and they wrestle in some heavier weight classes. So that being young as a freshman at 215 or heavyweight is different when a kid is 18 years old at heavyweight. His body's grown a little bit, and they just have some natural strength. Whether they hit the gym hard or not, they just have some natural strength to them, right? So tempering the expectations with my young kids, even though they're bigger weight classes, but I do still think that they can hang at the varsity level, and they will let her. But I'm excited just for them to participate, be on the mat, compete, and just kind of show what they have. I'm really excited about this season.
Yeah, and then I think obviously the next step for you guys is to be able to compete as a team and be able to compete for some of those team titles, right? Is that like the next step for you?
That is exactly the next step. In the years past, we'd show up with 5, 6 kids because 3 were sick, and we only have 8 or 9 total anyway. So when you get kids sick, you're forfeiting half the matches. So you're starting the match 36-0.
Yeah.
So even if we won all the matches, we might tie, but you'd have to win by pin. So you're starting behind at a deficit. This year, we're filling all slots, and I actually have a second team almost full, and I have a third string. So it's good to have backups. Before we didn't have this luxury.
Yeah. And you talked about, unfortunately this time of the year is when kids get sick a lot. It's just the colder weather. And wrestling, I mean, there's just no avoiding people. So it's just, you wait for it. It's going to happen at some point. Kids are going to get sick, and it's just how you try to deal with it throughout the year, right?
Yeah. I mean, next man up, right?
Yeah.
And then hopefully they get back to it, and then they'll take their spot back. And that's the thing about wrestling is you're always competing for that varsity spot, and it's a wrestle off. It's not a choices. The choice ain't made by the coach. Like, I just like this kid better than this kid. It's no, you two wrestle, and the winner gets the spot. I have nothing to do with it, So I think that's what's good about these kids. They're motivated that they can determine whether they make the varsity lineup or not.
Yeah, true meritocracy. It's one of those that if you're good enough to be out there, you're going to be out there. As simple as that.
Exactly.
So. All right. Well, we're looking forward to a great season. First home event for the year for y'all?
So the first home event is going to be against Santa Teresa. I believe that's on the 10th of December.
Okay. I've got the schedule here. I could have
right
just
there?
looked it up there. So let's see here. It is, you got it right off the top of your head. Actually, Artesia, it looks like, is the 10th of December. So
it'll be Artesia and then Santa Teresa.
On the 18th.
On the 18th. Mm-hmm. Okay.
So
the nice thing about this year is last year we had 2 home meets. This year we have 5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're going to see, our fans get to see us a little more, and that's cool.
Yeah, 2 in December, 2 in January, 1 in February, and that'd be cool. And have you guys ever thought about trying to put together a tournament? Is that something in the grinders, like maybe sometime down the road?
We were actually offered regionals to host regionals this year. The problem is we need mats, and we need a lot of help. It takes a lot to run a tournament, and if I can get some community support, some people working tables, clean up. Just everything that needs to run a good tournament, and then we can do it. And, it's a good money maker because that money go back to the team and buy some equipment, again, keep growing the sport. And it might generate some interest in some other kids, even 5th, 6th graders who are like, oh, I saw this wrestling. Can I go do it? Yeah. So the goal maybe in a couple years is to host a tournament. Maybe we'll name it Rumble in the Jungle or something.
All right. Sounds good. Hey, good luck to you all this season. Looking forward to watching you, and we'll look forward to a great season. Thanks for coming in, everybody.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.